Here's the thing, though, man, is that like things that MJ was doing, he learned from David Thompson and Jerry and those guys. Stuff that I've done, I've learned from MJ. Mm-hmm. Stuff that Bron does, learned from me. And playing on the Olympic team and the work ethic and all that stuff. It's a chain thing, man. I know people want to talk about who's this, who's that, because it fills up good conversation time or downtime, whatever the case may be. But for us as athletes, it's really a chain reaction. You can't have one without the other. It's just not possible.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope y'all having a good day so far. So, a bunch of you guys let me know, not just about this particular video, but something, guys, I didn't even see this yet. So, something about LeBron James telling Time Magazine that he's the GOAT. And, I remember, like, the first comment I saw, like, I just replied with, like, wait, in 2026, people actually care about Time Magazine? Like, but that was my perspective. I honestly didn't even know Time Magazine was still a thing. I thought in 2026 they would have been long gone and buried, but apparently they're still around and they're still impactful. And something like this has definitely made its rounds because it wasn't just one of you, it was multiple of you who asked me to either talk about this or react to this or whatever the case may be. And some of you actually linked me to this particular video, which is from Eric Smith Sports Training, or if I jumble it up, Eric Sports Smith's Training, whatever. Anyways, it's not like it's one of my favorite channels or anything. Oh man. Anyways, guys, yeah, definitely. I love reacting to Eric's content, and considering that I actually didn't pay any attention to this one. It's cool. I can actually like learn about this and not only react to Eric's video, but react to the entire thing, even though I'm assuming it's just a schmuck saying that he's the greatest of all time again. Because, I mean, how many times has he done it at this point? So that's why, like, I'd be more surprised if he said something else. But at this point, if he's just saying the same thing over and over again, it's like, yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't an accident the first time, you know? Like, he meant it. He's meant it the entire time. So, anyways, guys, let's see how ridiculous the circus gets. I'm going to link the original video down below in the description like I always do. There you'll see a list of channel members. Shout out to each and every one of you. I appreciate you all. Guys, like the video if you could. Go check out Eric's channel, all right? One of the best YouTube basketball channels out there. And subscriber count is currently at 1.88 thousand. So like just over 1,800. And, you know, watch the video and decide for yourself if you're not subscribed yet. Link is down below in the description. Anyways, all that rambling out of the way, like the vid, and let's rock.
Well, I thought LeBron learned his lesson from the last time he did this. And all the all-time greats came out in front of and behind the scenes to tell him not to. But instead of listening to them, he's not only doubled down, he brought up all the specific greats who have preached against this and made the exact opposite point.
I mean, Eric, at this point, I know you know psychology very well. You know, LeBron is the kind of guy who, if you don't say what he wants to hear, he just cuts you off, like mentally, emotionally, and he'll just whatever. In real life, he'll cut you off. So in this case, all those people who spoke out and said, like, hey, you can't call yourself the GOAT, you know, including like Isaiah, you know, Magic, like Scotty, like all these people came out and said it. Nowadays, especially with the podcast, like all those people are probably on his blocked list.
It's first ever, I think, and had Bron on the cover and obviously an interview with him. And one of his quotes is legendary. It's just absolutely legendary.
Okay, is this it? NBA legend, first ballot Hall of Famer. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, no, they're talking about Carmelo. Is this it? With report. Okay, I think this is it, but let's see.
I'm not taking...
Wait, 6/10/26. Yeah, this is officially it. Okay, my bad. All right, I just wanted the context. Let's rock.
I'm not taking nobody over me, says James. There's no question, but I think Mike will say the same thing. Rest his soul. Kobe will say the same thing. Magic will say the same thing. Bird will say the same thing. Shaq could say the same thing. The late, great Wilt, Kareem. I don't think none of us are going to take somebody else. If there's a general manager and he's eyeballing all of us on a baseline with the #1 pick, it's going to be hard not to take me, champ. Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah. Just crazy work here from LeBron. Let's break it down quickly. Now, LeBron is making the case that because the other all-time greats also feel they're the GOAT, he also has a right to say he's the GOAT.
There's a difference between what you feel and what you say. And let's move forward from that.
He also clearly is disappointed that he and MJ don't have a closer relationship, but he doesn't understand this is one of the reasons why. The way MJ feels LeBron has disrespected and cheated the game is a big contributor. MJ has always made his stance clear on issues such as load management, team hopping, teaming up with other superstars, and lastly, claiming you are the GOAT.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and all I've ever heard from MJ when they ask him about LeBron is nothing but respect. He stays respectful with all these young bucks. He did it with Kobe. He's done it with LeBron. He even did that with Kevin Durant. Stayed very, very respectful. But in return, even though he's not the one throwing out, he's not throwing crap over to their side, they keep crapping on him. All of them do. It's ridiculous. So, of course, he doesn't have a close relationship with you, especially with this passive aggressive stuff. Like he formed a close relationship with Kobe because Kobe went right at him. He went at him as a competitor, and Jordan respected that, and then they formed a friendship around that. LeBron has never done that. He never really got the opportunity to do that, but from everything I understand, it's not like he reached out ever and tried to hang out or chat with MJ. So, Kobe did it in a language that Jordan speaks, competition, and then they formed a brotherly bond. So I don't understand how LeBron thinks that he's going to be friends with a guy who all he's done his whole career is passively aggressively throw jabs at. Why would Jordan care? Why would Jordan want anything to do with you?
You and Michael at a good spot.
Who, me and Michael?
Jordan?
Yeah, we're in a good spot. We don't talk.
Why not, you think?
Because I'm still playing.
Not true.
I think I'm still playing. I'm still focused on my craft right now.
He was mentoring Kobe the entire time he was playing. So I don't think that's the case. And Kobe was, got up to 5 championships and was close to like in many eyes, he was close to dethroning Jordan at the top of the mountain. Yet the friendship, the brotherhood, the mentorship remained. So I 100% disagree with what LeBron is saying there. It's not because you're playing still.
You're done. You think you two will be the only two that can have a conversation?
I would hope so.
All right, well, here's the people that LeBron named. MJ, Kobe, Magic, Larry, Wilt, and Kareem. Do all those people think that they're the best of all time? Yeah, I think that MJ does, Kobe, Wilt, and probably Kareem. Wilt probably being by far the most outspoken that he is.
Yeah.
But I think really if you open their soul, probably only MJ really knows he's the GOAT, because even Kobe knows he copied almost everything MJ did.
Yeah.
The beauty of LeBron stating that they all would say they are the GOAT is we literally have video footage of several of them talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what they have to say.
Do you care where you're ranked all time?
No, I don't care. I made my money. I got my fans. People understand what I did. If they don't appreciate it, it's okay.
It feels like you're underrated.
I am underrated, but that's okay.
Are you the best big man of all time?
Possibly. But I'm not the most successful. Bill Russell was the most successful, and he understood how to make his team win. 11 world championships in 13 years. Beat that, Michael Jordan. LeBron is not going to come close. Come on.
Are you better than Jordan?
I'm not better than him, but I was at least as effective as he was. And I think the effect that you have on the game is how you should be judged. Bill Russell affected games. You couldn't get a shot near the basket.
I know.
He terrorized everybody for 13 years. When I was training Andrew Bynum, I told him, look, just go, there's on Facebook, watch Bill Russell block art. That's all you have to know about how to play defense. Just watch that a couple of times.
Awesome.
And
I think I've seen that video.
Started to get it. But he didn't stick with it. He was more interested in...
He didn't love it.
He wanted to take the engines out of cars.
People always like to talk about who's the greatest, who's the GOAT, and I don't like those discussions because different eras, different players, different rules. Who would be some of your Mount Rushmore type shooters? You named them all, and there's more, Reggie, because I can't think of all of them. Mm-hmm. Dale Ellis was a great shooter. Yeah. there's a lot of great shooters, and you're always going to leave somebody out, and people get their feelings hurt by that. I don't. I could care less. One thing I do know, I always knew how good I was.
Right.
I didn't care what you thought of my game.
Yeah.
But I knew in the majority of the games I played with the team I have, we're going to win most of them. So I had that kind of confidence. But they always talk about the great. I tell people, quit whining about LeBron. Enjoy him while he's here. He's unbelievable. I mean, he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest ever. Then you go back, I played against Magic, Michael, Kareem. The list goes on and on. So it's hard to pick one guy. I mean, it just seems like everybody in their era thinks their era is the best. I don't buy any of that.
Right.
Things change.
LeBron is not the GOAT. LeBron is my boy.
Oh, man. Yeah, I love this one by Magic. Like, real quick, just a quick chime in. I think there's a big difference here. Each and every one of these guys, if they step foot on a basketball court, they it's in their heart of hearts that, like, I'm the best, we're going to win. That's competitive spirit. That's an ego stepping up when you're in the face of a challenge, right? But when it comes to, do they need the approval of the world? Do they need the world to agree with that thought they have in their head that they're the best? No, they don't. Including Jordan, Magic, Bird, all these guys, Kareem, they don't need that approval from the world. LeBron does. And the thing is I don't think when LeBron gets on a basketball court, he truly believes he's the best out there. I really don't. You watch how he plays. He doesn't approach the game like someone who thinks he can do anything. He doesn't. He hides a lot. So I think that's why he needs that external approval from the world. And he keeps doing these stupid things and saying these stupid things because he's dying for that approval from all of us. The thing he doesn't realize is by being so desperate for that approval, he's like grossing all of us out and we want nothing to do with it. I don't want to give him that approval. He's bad enough without it. Imagine if he has that acceptance. Ugh.
I love him. Yeah. But when Michael Jordan took off with that tongue out. Hold up. Listen, because a lot of you wasn't born then. 1991 against my Lakers. Right hand. We thought we had him. He looked as we went down.
I love Magic. Dude, Magic Johnson, Kevin Garnett, completely different styles of storytelling. My two favorite storytellers of all time.
He switched it to the left hand.
Oh, yeah?
Tongue went left.
He never forgot this.
Spun it against the glass and good. There's nobody alive that's been able to do just that. That boy is too bad. I'm telling you right now.
Dude, that layup really killed him. I mean, I think he went on like a 12-0 run or something at that point too, and that capped it off. But like that left an everlasting impact on Magic because he's always telling the story of that layup.
LeBron is a bad boy too. He's a bad boy, but he's not Michael.
Everything with LeBron is LeBron this, but. And then it's MJ. Shoot.
Don't get it twisted. I love LeBron, but
And this is coming from Magic Johnson, the guy who recruited LeBron to the Lakers. The guy who showed up at LeBron's door to recruit him to the Lakers. And he's still saying this. I love Magic, man. Real quick, having just a moment. I'm so glad he's still with us.
No.
It bothers you when people talk about him as being the greatest player of all time.
Well, it bothers me because we all have our opinions, and I don't think that, commensurate with what he's doing and what he's done and how the game is going today, that he's better than a number.
The greatest scorer of all time? Not even. Would you even give him that?
Well, you see, what people don't remember was that my first 7 years, I scored a lot of points. Then I stopped scoring on my own volition. I tried to do other things. I was asked to do other things, and that's what I did. So if I had continued to score, I would probably be averaging 40 points for my whole lifetime. Does that make me the best scorer? I really don't know. But one thing I do know, that all the years while I was usually scoring all those points, I was leading the league in percentile shooting. And that's also important because if you take all the shots, then you should be making the highest percentage.
Yeah, I agree. And we lost sight of that I'd say around the mid-90s. Because we had a bunch of Jordan clones coming in during that time. And while Jordan was still getting 50% or above from the field, all the Jordan clones that came in were shooting in the low 40s. And that was a problem. I agree with Wilt when it comes to that. However, Wilt, if he would have just scored a bunch of points throughout his career and not won, he still wouldn't be the greatest of all time. Wilt has everything you need to be the GOAT. except for all the championships. If he was the guy who had 11 championships or even 6 championships, if he had 6 with the stat lines that he had back then, I think we'd still be crowning him as the GOAT. I really do. Like, his stat lines are ridiculous, but it didn't convert into championships. And obviously we can have conversations about that and why, but at the end of the day, it still didn't convert into championships. Now with Jordan, he was scoring crazy numbers as well with a high percentage, and it converted into 6 championships. That's why, like, to be the greatest, like, there's a lot of criteria there. Wilt hits a lot of them, but he missed the biggest one, unfortunately.
So when they compare me with Michael's averaging 31 points for his lifetime. I average about 30 points for a lifetime. But I stopped scoring. I know that basketball is a team game. Right.
But so did he. You remember, I mean, I guess Wilt doesn't remember when Jordan went from 37 points a game down to 30 points a game because of the triangle and because, you know, he wanted to win. That's what he was told he had to do to win. So he changed his game. He became less selfish. So Wilt's not the only one who did that. Jordan also could have had a buttload more points. But once again, if he did that, probably wouldn't have nearly as many championships.
Already made Michael number 1. But if you had to have Wilt against Michael, my prime and his prime, how much money would you be willing to bet?
And who's the GOAT? See, that's the
I like that
type of immature question.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's who's the GOAT. I'm the regular sports fan. This is what we talk about.
I know this is what regular fans talk about.
You don't. So you're saying you're the GOAT?
What I'm saying is regular people ask really simple questions. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Here's the thing, though, man, is that like things that MJ was doing, he learned from David Thompson and Jerry and those guys. Stuff that I've done, I've learned from MJ. Mm-hmm. Stuff that Bron does, learned from me and playing on the Olympic team and the work ethic and all that stuff. It's a chain thing, man. I know people want to talk about who's this, who's that, because it fills up good conversation time or downtime, whatever the case may be. But for us as athletes, it's really a chain reaction.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other. It's just not possible.
And, you know, I respect the hell out of Kobe for saying it that way, because whenever I hear that bit right there, I always think about how I feel about music, musicians, and bands. You know, I've been playing music since I was a teenager all the way till now. Love it, live it, and I think about the Beatles all the time. Okay. Because if, you know, a lot of us consider them at least one of the greatest bands of all time. And if you go back now and you listen, like if you're like a teenager or whatever, and you listen to the Beatles the first time, you might not understand why we all say that. But the fact is, it's not all about emulating. You know what I mean? We're in a copycat world right now, but back then they broke new ground. They were innovators. They made music, you know, new types of music, new types of rock possible. You know, they opened up a whole new canvas for the next generation. And then that next generation took it, pushed it as far as they could, and handed it off to the next generation. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel like Kobe's talking about basketball players. Because if you don't have a Wilt, then you don't have a Kareem. If you don't have a Kareem, then you don't have a David Robinson. You don't have a David Robinson, you don't have a Shaq. You know what I mean? Like, you need this progression of each generation pushing the boundaries of what you thought you could do. And that's why no matter what, we shouldn't forget about those who broke new ground, you know? And I mean, if we're talking about music, then yeah, we know who did that. When we talk about basketball, we also know who did that.
I ask you some true and false questions. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever.
False.
Why?
Because I didn't play against, you know, all the great players prior to me, and I had those other players to influence my game. I mean, it's a great honor, don't get me wrong. But I love to have played against Jerry West to determine if I was a better guard than him or Oscar Robertson, but we'll never know.
Okay, he's going to show it, because I was going to say that has stayed consistent for like 30 years now. He hasn't changed his tone about this subject.
Conversation is pretty much over to most people.
I beg to differ, and I'll give a different analogy to that, because first of all, you're never going to say who's the greatest of all time. To me, I think that's more for PR and more for selling.
More for PR, more for selling. Good point out.
stories and getting hype.
And it is. It is. For LeBron, I think it is. It is more for PR. It's more for selling.
Combined with all your others, vault you over the Johnsons and Birds and Russells and Chamberlains and all that?
No. I think that's something that I really can't say can be established. Each one of us play in our different eras with different teams, with different levels of success. And to compare all of them and say one's better than the next, it's an unfair justice to the art or to the artists. You know, being that Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, all the guys before me were the artists of this game of basketball, and we've all learned from them, and we've improved the picture to a certain extent. And to say that one improvement is better than all of it, it's an
wow.
And that's why, like, it always makes me think of the music analogy. I'll make this one quick. Quick example. Jimi Hendrix and the level of impact he had. He didn't have like a longevity. Obviously, he died at a young age. But the way he changed how guitar is played forever, all the way to this day, that's what gave him that stamp. So it would be unfair to say, well, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, he's way better than Jimmy or whatever. But a lot of people do that. But the thing is Stevie Ray Vaughan is the first person who would admit there's no me without Jimmy. I'm emulating Jimmy. You know what I mean? So I feel like Jordan has that same thing where he's saying, like, you're disrespecting the art if you do that. And it makes sense because there's no Jordan if there's no, you know, whoever came before him. Just like we can say there's no Kobe without Jordan. You know, this is just how it goes. It's the evolution.
Does that line up with what LeBron said? I would say for most of them, they are saying the exact opposite, of course, outside of Wilt. Now, again, guys, a lot of people just make videos to bash LeBron. I don't want to bash him personally. My goal is for people watching this to form a strong mentality in their own lives. Why is LeBron consistently saying he's the GOAT, and why did MJ and Kobe specifically shut down that conversation and in fact called it stupid and disrespectful for them to comment on?
I'll answer that the most simplest way and honest way I can. LeBron James is incredibly insecure. Michael Jordan is not insecure. Done.
The first reason is we should never be satisfied. Like LeBron, you're still playing, man. If you're truly still playing to win championships and not to pad your all-time statistical lead, then focus on that, not your legacy while you're still playing. The second reason is obviously the most important, respect. As a kid, if you had good parents, the number one thing they try to teach you is respect. And every time you prop yourself up, you're in essence disrespecting others. And respect is the most valuable currency in the world. Sure, if you ask people which is more important to them, money and fame versus respect, some might say money and fame. But those who have money and fame will tell you, if they don't have respect, they really have nothing. Respect shown and received back from others keeps you safe, helps you get and keep a job, keeps you healthy and have positive relationships.
100%.
It also helps you feel like you had a worthwhile life on your deathbed. Hopefully LeBron one day sees this. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all are the best. Shout out to Che, who hyped the last video. You're a legend. If you guys could subscribe and turn on
is that you?
Notifications to see more content like this, we'll all develop strong mentalities together. Also, please consider signing up as a member. That really helps me grow the channel. Much love, guys. Peace.
All right, bonus clips.
The problem is none of those guys are ever saying that. That's the problem.
That's what I was going to say.
That's the problem. See, when we get to this point, and this is the problem that I have with Braun, is that instead of letting other people glorify you or give you your flowers, or a guy like me come on television that been through the trenches with you since childhood, let me come on and tell the world why you're the GOAT. You sit back and just accept the flowers. We don't never hear Jordan say it. And here we are again. And I know we're going to pick it up, but he knows we're going to pick up the soundbite. It's just here.
He wants us to.
We're in the NBA Finals. NBA Finals.
And we're being distracted because of this, right?
Yeah, but the Big Perk is absolutely right in this regard. He's talking about they would say the same thing. No, they wouldn't. Michael Jordan would never tell you he's the GOAT. I know Michael Jordan.
He's had 1,000 opportunities to do it, and he never does it.
I speak to him often. I'm telling you, he has never, ever, ever once called himself the greatest. Ever. It has never happened. Kobe Bryant didn't call himself the greatest. Kareem didn't call himself the greatest. Magic didn't call himself the greatest. Bird didn't call himself the greatest. No, that's not true. That's not true. He could say they might have thought it, but they never articulated it to a reporter for print purposes to be disseminated to the masses. It is LeBron James, which brings us to LeBron James. Why would he do that? Because the man is addicted to trying to control the narrative. These are the reasons.
Once again, propaganda. It's always propaganda.
Exist. And
if
so
I tell
many
you something enough times, maybe you'll actually believe it, and then I win. That's propaganda. Huh, girl? Huh? That's propaganda? Come on. Come on, I'm working. All right. My doggy says hi to the world. My doggy says hello to everybody. All right, now be good, okay?
people who support him, they haven't seen the forest from the trees. They get caught up in that moment. He's saying something in that moment. You know why you can't get caught up in the moment with LeBron James? Because LeBron James ain't caught up in the moment. Everything he does is calculating. He knows exactly what he's doing. He plots and he plans, hoping to have a specific impact. I would know. Yo, Rich, you acting like that's a damn insult to call him number 2 all time. It is an insult.
That is a problem. They're trying to control the narrative so much that he can't even handle being in the top two. In the top 2 of all time in the NBA is an insult to him. Yet all these other guys are like, yeah, well, I mean, pick whoever you like. What era do you like? You know, what position do you like? You know, what's more important to you, championships or like, you know, personal stats? Like that's how everybody else is approaching this. But with LeBron, if you don't call him the greatest of all time, it's an insult. So different than everybody else. So insecure.
Feel. That's how they feel. And they feel that way in large part. They think for themselves, but they feel that way in large part because they know that's how he feels. Mm-hmm. He is still around because when all is said and done, he wants to eclipse every record because he knows down the line, from an historical perspective, we ain't going to remember it took him 23, 24, 25 years to do what Jordan did in 13 or what Kareem did in 19 or 20 or something like that. All we going to look at is the numbers. All-time leading scorer, this, that. We're going to look at all of those different things, and we're going to say statistically he's the best. That is why he is still around, because he wants that narrative to be dictated. As I told you before, he's on the Mount Rushmore. He's one of the top 2 in the history in my game. As long as I'm breathing and I'm on the airwaves, it will never be what he wants it to be. Period.
Here's what LeBron should do. And anybody who thinks he's better than Jordan, go take out the tape of every game in the Dallas series when Nowitzki beat him. When he averaged 17 a game.
See, guys, it's not just me. It's not just us pointing it out. Mad Dog over here on Mainstream pointing it out, too.
Couldn't score in the fourth quarter and was completely outplayed with a better team, Wade and Bosch. Find me a series where that happened to Jordan.
Never.
Can't.
What impact does your statistical place in the
Who cares
NBA
about stats?
have on you?
Well, that never drove me. You know what I mean? The stats only add up when you put forth the effort and you don't worry about it. You know, good things happen to those people that work hard. If I sit here and play for the stats, I would have never retired in 93. Or I still probably be chasing Wilt Chamberlain's all-time, you know, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all-time scoring lead. I mean, that doesn't drive me. I mean, sure, I mean, it defines to some extent for people who don't know me on, you know, 20 years from now would never know who Michael Jordan really is. But based on the stats, he must have been pretty decent. You know, those are only ways that I look at stats. Other than that, you know, it's all about winning championships and winning. You know, stats that matter to me is the games that we win and the rings that you collect.
Yep. Well, good way to end it, man. Great video. And yeah, with what MJ's saying, that's why, like, I'm not too harsh on anyone's. I don't get too high or too low on people's stats. In other words, I noticed, like, for instance, a lot of times people all over the place, they talk about, like, Scottie Pippen's numbers, okay? And this one bothers me a little bit because even though like I'm not a big fan of Scottie Pippen, the human being at this moment, I remember what his contribution was to the Bulls. And now he's stuck in this whole like GOAT debate, you know, like back and forth thing. And he's kind of stuck in the middle. Unfortunately, just like LeBron's teammates have been thrown into the fire as well. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair on the LeBron side because, you know, players like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, you know, Anthony Davis, all these guys, they deserve credit. And Scottie Pippen, he dedicated his whole career to not chase numbers. Jordan did the same. It was all about winning. What's the formula to winning? Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, players like this, they dedicate themselves to doing the intangibles, the things that don't show up on a stat sheet, but it's going to help the team win because that's all that really matters to a true competitor, a true champion. It's all about finding a path to victory. It's not about like, well, we lost, but I had a 30-point triple-double. I did my job. No. If you're in charge of the team, you're the captain of the team. Do your job means bring us to victory lane. Find a way to do it. It doesn't mean stack up your numbers and look at everybody else and say like, what'd y'all do today? You know what I mean? That's not a good leader. That's a show off at that point. So like that's why I just want to say like, I'm glad to hear Jordan because he it sounds like he agrees with the stats. He was like, the stats show up if you're like, you know, with the game you're playing. If you're playing to win, stats will show up in some way or another, you know? Like for Dennis Rodman, it showed up with rebounds. But all the stuff he was doing on defense didn't show up for winning, but it showed up in a specific stat. Jordan, it showed up in mainly points. But all the other stuff he was doing, especially defensively, boxing out, you know, his help side defense, all this stuff, none of that shows up in stats. Maybe an occasional steal or block. But unless you're watching what's going on, you don't see what's really happening. So if history, people only care about statistics and numbers, then yeah, a guy like LeBron or like even a guy like Jokic is going to be considered the greatest of all time, you know? And to me, that's only part of the story. Numbers are only part of the story. What the eye test and watching what the person was doing and what that led to. Did it lead to wins? Did it lead to loses? You know, are we talking like a James Harden situation where the guy's getting a lot of stats, but he can't make the finals for a second time in his life? Because I'm sorry, that doesn't mean much to me. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel like stats are. And honestly, I can care less about the all-time stats. You know, when it comes to, you know, a total number for an entire career, because people's careers they played for different times, you know, like Magic and Bird, I think played like 12 or like 11 to 12 years in the NBA. So like comparing that to say a LeBron James, who's playing like probably 24 by the time it's done, we can't compare total numbers. We have to compare, averages, season averages, per game averages. You know what I mean? That's what would matter most in the stats. But I seem to be in a minority of that. That at least tells more of a story of what did you produce every year, you know? Like not all time, oh, you stayed around for 10 extra years, so, you know, you have more of these numbers. What were you producing every single year for your team? And then we look at the wins. Did it lead to victory or not? You know? And then the last thing is to watch the film, where we go, are these empty stats or are these like hard-earned stats, like winning stats, you know? Winning stats meaning like a big offensive rebound in the fourth quarter with like 30 seconds left and you're down by 1. You know, that's a winning stat. A watered down like pointless stat is you're up by 15 and you just got a defensive rebound by taking it out of the hands of Austin Reeves. That's a pointless stat. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm gonna head out with that one, guys. Go check out Eric Smith's channel. Link is down below in the description. And if you haven't yet, leave a comment. We'll have a conversation down below as always. Like the video if you could. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And most importantly, is to be water, my friends. Peace out.